A daily English routine. Learning a new language is like planting a tree. You start with a small seed, nurture it daily, and over time, it grows into something beautiful and strong. This was how Maria, a 17-year-old student, viewed her journey to mastering English. For her, it wasn't just about passing exams or impressing others. It was about opening doors to new opportunities, understanding foreign cultures, and feeling confident when she traveled abroad. Maria lived in a small town where English wasn't commonly spoken. Her exposure to the language was limited to school lessons, where the focus was mostly on grammar exercises and textbook dialogues. While she had decent grades in English, she knew she wasn't fluent. She struggled with listening and speaking, and she found it hard to follow movies or songs in English. One day, she decided to take control of her learning. She designed a daily routine to immerse herself in the language and improve step by step. Starting the day with vocabulary. Maria believed that the best way to start her day was by learning new words. Every morning, she would sit at her desk with a small notebook and a dictionary app on her phone. She had set a goal to learn 5 new English words each day. She carefully selected words that were practical and relevant to her life. For example, if she planned to bake a cake that day, she'd learn and wrote the words in her notebook along with their definitions and examples of how they were used in sentences. She also tried to draw small illustrations to make the words stick in her memory. After writing the new words, she would create flashcards using an app. This allowed her to review them later in the day. To reinforce her learning, she made it a rule to use each new word at least 3 times throughout the day, either in her thoughts, writing, or conversations. Listening and pronunciation practice. Maria knew that listening was one of her weakest skills. To improve, she listened to English podcasts or audiobooks every morning while doing chores like cleaning her room or washing the dishes. She chose simple and engaging podcasts designed for English learners. Her favorite was a series of short stories read slowly and clearly. At first, Maria found it difficult to understand everything. But instead of focusing on every word, she tried to get the general meaning of what was being said. Over time, she noticed that her listening improved, and she could catch more details. After listening, Maria would repeat sentences she found interesting. She mimicked the speaker's intonation, rhythm, and pronunciation. Sometimes, she recorded herself and compared her pronunciation to the original. While it was awkward at first, this practice helped her build confidence in speaking. Immersive reading. In the afternoon, Maria dedicated 30 minutes to reading in English. She started with children's books and short stories, which were easier to understand. Her favorite was The Little Prince, as its simple language and meaningful lessons kept her motivated. As her skills improved, she moved on to young adult novels and news articles. Maria had a special way of reading. She kept a highlighter in her notebook beside her. Whenever she encountered a new word, she would highlight it and later look up its meaning. However, she didn't stop to check the dictionary for every single word while reading. This would slow her down and make the process tedious. Instead, she focused on understanding the story and guessed the meanings of words from context. She would review the highlighted words after finishing her reading session. Maria also joined an online book club for English learners. Every week, they discussed a chapter from a novel they were reading together. Even though she didn't speak much during the discussions at first, she listened carefully to how others expressed their thoughts. Gradually, she gained the confidence to share her own opinions. Writing and self-reflection. Maria's evenings were dedicated to writing in English. She kept a journal where she wrote about her day, her thoughts, and her dreams. She didn't worry too much about making mistakes. Her main goal was to practice expressing herself in English. To make her writing more effective, she focused on using the new words and phrases she had learned earlier in the day. For example, if one of her new words was adventure, she might write, "Today felt like an adventure because I tried a new recipe for lunch." This practice not only helped her remember the words but also taught her how to use them in context. Once a week, Maria would ask her older brother, who was fluent in English, to review her journal and point out any major errors. She didn't mind being corrected because she saw mistakes as opportunities to learn. Relaxation with English entertainment. Before going to bed, Maria treated herself to some entertainment in English. She watched episodes of her favorite TV series with English subtitles. At first, she relied heavily on the subtitles, but as her listening improved, she started watching without them. She chose shows that were lighthearted and fun, like comedies and family dramas, which made learning feel less like a chore. Sometimes, she watched YouTube videos of English-speaking vloggers. She admired how naturally they spoke and picked up useful expressions from their videos. She even started keeping a list of common phrases like "what's up" or "that's awesome" to add a conversational touch to her English. Immersive practice. On weekends, Maria took her learning to the next level by practicing real-life communication. She joined an online language exchange program where she could chat with native English speakers who wanted to learn her native language. They spoke half the time in English and the other half in her language, which made the exchange fair and enjoyable. At first, Maria was nervous and hesitant to speak. But her partners were friendly and patient, which helped her relax. She focused on being clear rather than perfect. Over time, she noticed that her sentences became longer and her confidence grew. Maria also used weekends to explore English language content related to her hobbies. She loved cooking, so she followed English-speaking chefs on social media and tried their recipes. This way, she learned new cooking terms while doing something she enjoyed. The results of consistency. Maria's daily routine wasn't easy at first. There were days when she felt tired or frustrated, especially when she didn't see immediate results. But she reminded herself that learning a language was a marathon, not a sprint. Every small effort she made added up over time. After 6 months of following her routine, Maria saw significant progress. Her vocabulary had expanded, and she could follow English conversations more easily. Reading became a pleasure rather than a challenge, and she started writing short essays with more confidence. Most importantly, she no longer froze when someone asked her a question in English. She could reply naturally, even if it wasn't perfect. Maria's journey to fluent English wasn't just about the language. It taught her discipline, patience, and the joy of learning. By taking small, consistent steps every day, she proved to herself that she could achieve anything she set her mind to. For Maria, English was no longer just a subject in school. It was a tool that connected her to the world and opened up endless possibilities. And as she continued her journey, she knew that the tree she had planted would keep growing, branching out into new and exciting directions.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our future content. See you in the next video.